Halcion was the very first idea I came up with for the album. It was a programmed groove, but it was unplayable in its programmed form. I found out later anyway. I say it was unplayable, it was just no drummer in their right mind would approach it the way I did. Alex sent us something back which was like what a drummer would have played. At that point I sort of reprogrammed it in and then started writing the song to it. And I had like so many different riffs that I wrote over that one drum groove. I was trying to be a bit too clever with it really and trying to play a riff that kind of played around the groove instead of just being like, well, why don't I just play what the groove's playing? And then I just literally came up with that just da-dun, dun, da-dun, dun, da-dun, dun, da-dun, da-dun. I was like, well, how would Queens of the Stone Age approach this riff? And that was kind of it, like some weird interval jumps and then, again, a turnaround which matched the drum groove. The whole song from there just literally wrote itself.
Well, I remember working on the intro thing with you, and then, not very long after that, it was like, here's the rest of the song.
Yeah.
It came together really quickly. The original intro that Jamie sent, it wasn't too different, to be honest. It was more just how it was phrased. The sticking patterns were just a little bit awkward. I was trying to get it as close to what Jamie originally put down, but just kind of make it just a bit more playable.
A few more kick drums added in.
Yeah,
I remember that.
With substituting some toms for
It was
kicks
all
and
kind of like, it was a lot of floor tom.
a lot of toms.
Yeah, a lot of toms. Kick and floor tom, I feel like, are kind of interchangeable. They have a similar kind of energy.
I think when you're doing any kind of 16th note bass pattern on the kit, substituting single notes for kicks, you can just create so many more musical ideas.
Because you're free your hand.
You're freeing a hand and you're freeing yourself to do something else. Hit another drum or hit another cymbal or do something like that.
And there's more, obviously.
Absolutely.
Bridge was such a last minute addition though.
I remember specifically that bit always just kind of sticking out quite a lot, and I always felt like it just needed a change. Something needed to change in that bridge section, because originally it was just the same kind of tom ostinato thing rolling around again. All the parts were there, but I just felt like a change in groove ever so slightly would just kind of split the section in half a little bit more. It's kind of like a displacement thing.
Again, it went full circle though, didn't it? Because initially I came up with a riff following the groove that you manipulated in terms of like making it playable, and then you came up with that pattern by kind of following the riff.
Yeah, it follows the riff exactly.
It's literally the same pattern.
Follows the riff exactly, so it's a bit more kind of a static pattern comparing it to the intro. It probably does catch people off guard because they're probably not expecting that kind of sudden change, but I feel like in that context it worked. I always felt like it needed something in that middle bit.
The demo was called Set Fire to the Lime, I think, which is a clear, again, nod to Steve Judd in Carnival, because that tom pattern of Set Fire to the Hive, the song, is wicked. And I don't think it turned into anything close to that song, really. Like, that song has a lot more energy. I don't think we're afraid to wear the influences on the sleeve.
The verse is a nod to Abe Cunningham. What he's so good at, he almost turns like hip-hop beats into rock drum parts, essentially. I remember spending a little bit of time on the choruses, just getting the vocabulary right. It's essentially like a dotted note, isn't it? Dun, 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 dun.
The intro groove's in 5.
The chorus is in 3. I've just figured that out.
It goes back to that quarter note pulse. I think you could write anything and have whatever turnaround you want, and as long as it's got that quarter note head bobby thing, you can get away with murder. Like the intro obviously being in 5/4. If you were like da dun dun da dun dun da dun dun da dun da dun da dun dun, phrase starts again. So you can just keep that going and then da 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 get it and da 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 it keeps going and then da 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 in the chorus.
Yeah.
If you changed that and added an extra 8th note, it just doesn't have anywhere near the same kind of power moving forward.
Heading into the final chorus, drums wise, I kind of wanted to nod back to the whole thing that you were talking about before, the whole quarter note feel. It's kind of implied 4/4 at the end essentially, with the snare just landing on 2 and 4, which creates quite a nice displacement thing again.
From my point of view, nothing changed. and from everyone else's point of view, nothing changed. We were all just playing the same parts, but it's just the power of orchestration on a drum kit that just completely changes like how a riff's perceived or how a melody comes across. That last chorus, like you say, phrasing even with a vocal. I remember when you first did it, and Steph was like, "I don't know where I am now," like vocally, and you're doing the same thing, but it's just because the backbeat all of a sudden turns into a bit more of a kind of just a powerhouse kind of four to the floor almost thing.
Yeah.
That is Halcion. Go and check it out on your local streaming service.
Local.
Can't tell your local shop, mate.
Can't do the local Spotify.
I get it. I don't know what I'm talking about.